We are Pimcore, a company from Salzburg in Austria, as we already mentioned, headquartered in the heart of Europe. And we have created our product back in 2010. And since 2013, we are operating as a company and creating a digital platform, which is called Pimcore. And with this digital platform, we enable companies to own the digital world. This means that they get the ownership of the solution they build and that they can use our product as an open source tool in any way that they want, and that they actually keep the intellectual property. That's very important for us. The typical problems that we see that we are solving for our companies that we're working with is actually similar that you described, Bill. It's companies that are struggling because they are, for example, a company in the production space. In this example, purchase a production company, and they have different departments like the purchasing production department. They have the product management department, the sales, the marketing. So this is the different departments of the company, and they have the IT department, and they are, for example, having an ERP system, and the ERP system is not sufficient to actually solve the challenge that they have, especially when it comes to the product management and to the sales and marketing. So the challenges we see in the product management is that the companies are managing the files, the data in Excel sheets, that they have scattered data, so that they have different logics of file systems, messy data, so bad data quality, and that they have different file systems, PDF files and so on, where they are actually managing the data so they don't have consolidated data records. And this is the challenge that is actually created upstream, and then downstream in the sales and marketing. This leads to various challenges, such as a bad time to market in the sales and marketing departments. Also here, the quality issues which are affecting these departments, and fear of digital transformation, because everything seems really complex and everything seems really slow, and there's more and more channels and touch points with the customer, and actually not enough speed to keep up with the competition. So this is the challenges we see. And in these challenges, often companies resort to like a digital agency or to a system integrator, to some kind of consultant to help them out. And what these companies then do is they are actually selecting for these different challenges that we see here, different types of products as a solution for these problems. So a typical use case we see is, for example, this one. That companies are selecting as a solution for these challenges that you just saw, to implement various systems. For example, for managing the product data, for the product management, they're implementing a PIM or MDM system. For managing for being faster in the digital marketing when it comes to the websites, they're managing a CMS or DXP, Digital Experience Platform system. For managing the digital assets, so all the images, videos, PDF files, they are implementing a DAM system, Digital Asset Management. And then they are also implementing, if it has some kind of commerce, like an online shop or some B2B commerce portal, they are implementing a commerce system. And this is kind of the approach of the best of breed, selecting different applications here and then connecting them to the corporate IT, so to the ERP system, to the CRM system, BI, and so on. And what we see here is actually the best of breed systems of all of these application areas. And what then happens is, after these products have been implemented, they get connected with interfaces. So for example, here, a PIM system from Informatica was chosen, connected to a Binder DAM, connected to a CMS system, Drupal in this case, and then a Salesforce Commerce Cloud, for example. And then, of course, also the CRM or EP or whatever corporate IT is existing has to be connected as well. This leads to various challenges. So the challenge that we see is that this approach makes it quite slow to implement such a solution, and that the companies lose a lot of time here in the first phase, when they actually need quickly a solution to keep up really with the digital world. And they're bringing here a lot of different technologies into their company, which also makes this difficult to maintain. And from the terms of the integrator who does this, it's a challenge when it comes to the implementation, because the integrator needs to have a lot of knowledge in all of these different technologies. And to maintain this technology, this knowledge is a big human resources topic. So the people who are working actually in the system integration company need to be capable to implement a lot of different technologies and to keep up a lot of knowledge in these technologies. And the maintenance is also something that you see. For example, maintenance can be challenging because if there's some update in one of these systems, it can be quite difficult because some updates break interfaces, and it can create quite a complex infrastructure, which is difficult to maintain. So what we did with Pimcore is we created a platform which can do all of these things, because we see them really in nearly all of the projects and as part of a digital transformation, that these modules, so managing structured data as part of a PIM, managing file-based data as part of a DAM, managing websites and digital experience as part of a CMS, and managing e-commerce are actually necessary. So in most cases, sooner or later, one of these components will be needed anyways. So why not put them all together and put them in one platform? And this is what the Pimcore platform does. So it's a consolidated approach in this case, consolidated approach of all of these functionalities. So a complete stack for creating or for providing a company with a digital transformation solution, with one technology and with one platform, which is integrated with each other already. So there's no APIs between these systems, because it's all one platform. And then you just need to build one integration layer to the ERP, for example, or to the CRM, and you can have all this data then available in the Pimcore platform, which makes it very simple from the architecture side and very easy to maintain also when you're kind of creating and extending this platform.
So I'm sure you're going to have a slide that goes into this. Before you get off this, so is it in your database? Is it in a whatever database that they're using? I mean, so all this data that's in there, where is it actually being resided?
I will come to this when I talk about the technical architecture. So it's it's residing in a SQL database. But I'll come to this when I show the architecture. So yeah, of course, it's not always the case that all of these functionalities are used. So you can also use, for example, Pimcore just for data management. You can use it just for PIM and DAM, for example. So you're just managing structured data and you're connecting some external CMS system, for example, or some external commerce system. So we see companies, for example, who are using Pimcore as a PIM and a DAM, and then they're connecting Shopify or they're connecting Magento. We see this also. So Pimcore is completely API driven. This means all the data that is managed in the system you can retrieve via APIs, and in this way it's quite flexible, and you don't have to use it like it's here, but this is kind of the full feature set that you have available. And what gets possible with Pimcore? So what are the type of solutions that companies build? This is showcased here. So Pimcore is a digital transformation enabler. So across departments, this is again the company that we saw before with the different departments. Across departments, solutions of Pimcore help companies to get better in the digital sales, to get better in the digital marketing. And the companies are actually enabled by the whole data management capabilities. So by the functionalities for the product information management, by the functionalities for data quality management, of course, the digital asset management, channel management, analytics, and tagging of data. This is kind of the first step, of course, that's necessary to making the data in a way central and available in a way for all the departments from one single source. And the time to market gets improved, so the companies can work faster. And for the sales and the marketing departments, a lot of different solutions can be built with Pimcore. Starts with commerce, so B2C or B2B commerce, product configurators, multi-channel retail solutions, for example, also point of sale solutions. We have a couple of good case studies. Then the whole topic of web to print, so automating the creation of print publishing, sales tools, and of course for the marketing, this is especially the CMS part where it comes to websites, where it comes to digital portals, intranets, extranets. There's a newsletter capability also in Pimcore, and there is functionality for search engine optimization, analytics integration, and so on. So also here the big topic, improving the time to market for sales and marketing departments as well. And for the IT department, Pimcore is a good solution because it's a very flexible solution. IT departments like that it's a complete open source solution, which is actually compatible and can be installed actually quite easily. It's very performant, so it's very fast. We have, for example, installation for Ingram Micro, the IT distributor. They are managing 20 million products in the system, and still it runs quite fast. It's a very secure system. So the security of open source is also something that IT departments usually value. It's very integration friendly, so it can integrate with any third-party system, and it's quite stable. This is all something that's very valuable for the IT, and which makes it a very good choice for the CTOs. So the next is the technology stack. Here you see the technology stack of Pimcore, which is completely based on a flexible event-driven architecture. So the technology that's behind Pimcore is the Symfony framework in version 4. It's a PHP-based tool, so it's actually also quite easy to find people who can develop with it because PHP is quite widely used around the web. It's using technology like, for example, a MariaDB or MySQL, Elasticsearch. That's all technologies which are quite widely adopted across the market. And there's also a lot of like bundles and capabilities that you can already use and reuse and integrate into Pimcore. This is the main technology stack that's inside Pimcore. This makes it also compatible with all the major deployment methods. So you can deploy it on-premise, on a web server with any operating system, Linux or Windows, or whatever operating system you're choosing. And you can also deploy it on a cloud-based infrastructure. And there, all the major cloud infrastructures are supported. We also have images for these infrastructures already. Or for example, you can also deploy it via Docker. So you have different deployment options. And the system itself is then capable of providing output in different formats. So you can either directly create some digital portal, some website, and use any kind of front-end technology to connect to the system, like a Bootstrap or like a React, Vue.js, and so on. Or you can use the Pimcore APIs. So Pimcore is 100% API-driven. All the system functionality is available to be retrieved via APIs. And here you have a REST API. So you have three different APIs. You have a REST API, you have a GraphQL API, and you have a native PHP API, which you can either use to directly retrieve data from the system or feed data to the system, or you can also use these APIs to build custom exports, for example, in JSON format or in XML format based on these APIs. So this is how Pimcore can interface with external software, and this makes it quite integration friendly, this whole technology stack. One big benefit is that Pimcore is an open source product. So it's an enterprise open source product. It's not like a community open source product, which is just backed by a community, but it's backed by the Pimcore company. So as Pimcore is open source, it's a big benefit for companies that they can own the whole intellectual property. When they are creating a solution, they are the owner of the whole code. They are the owner of everything they build with it. They have very much flexibility that open source provides. They have the possibility to continuously innovate. We, for example, already have a Google TensorFlow integration for machine learning, and as you know, probably all the latest technology innovation in cloud, in big data, and so on. This is occurring in open source ecosystems, and these new technologies, these new developments, can be easily integrated then to an open source system. And Pimcore here, as it's also open source, is of course compatible to all of these developments. And enterprise open source also means that large enterprises are using Pimcore, and these large enterprises, they often want to have some optional service level agreement or long-term support, or they want to have, for example, a managed cloud or a custom enterprise extensions. And this is what we are providing as part of our optional enterprise subscription. So the product Pimcore, the whole source code can be used as part of the community edition completely for free. But optionally, our business model is based on providing an enterprise subscription, and this enables companies to directly get services from us as a vendor as terms of this subscription. And this is especially relevant for larger enterprises who can get this if they would like to.
From my standpoint, I know that we have I know that some of us have a hard stop in 5 minutes. All I can say is that you've represented the product really well. We were really impressed with it even before this presentation. It's going to very quickly turn to how do you earn money? What's the licensing arrangement if we end up using this at a client? And so I know that my team is probably eager to ask an awful lot of technology questions, but before we even get to any of the technology questions, what you've developed here is fantastic. It does fit a need that I'm seeing out there that's perfectly consistent with what you're presenting. I hope you guys are doing fantastic with it because you deserve to. So now, to me, it becomes very quickly, how do we incorporate this into what we're doing? What does that look like? What's our arrangement with you? When we go into a client and we introduce you, what does that mean that what's the licensing they're going to be paying? So how do we get to that portion of the dialogue so we know how to use you in these engagements?
Okay, yeah, so basically it works in a way that Pimcore is a complete open source product. So you have a community edition with all features which can be used without any licensing cost. This means you as a company can just use it. You can implement it for your a company, and they can use it completely without any licensing cost. So in this regards, you're completely free to use it. And our business model is based on specific companies, like especially larger companies who have the need for some additional services. And if they want to have these additional services, which are provided by us as the maker of the company, so this is like a services based, then they can get an optional enterprise subscription.
Yeah.
But
So let's just go through an example. So some of these marks on here we actually do business with also, but so let's say that we go to a client that's not currently one of your keystone clients. We're going to use the open source version when we start. We know that it's going to grow and they're going to want to have a relationship with you. We're not stopping that at all. I mean, because again, we're not trying to become that relationship. We're trying to facilitate that relationship with you because it helps us get them to be a happy customer. So basically what I'm hearing is that we use your product free and of charge, incorporating it in as best we can. And so long as we're representing it accurately, that's a good thing for you, because when it does grow and it does become successful, then they're going to want to turn to you for services. We're not trying to get in the way of that at all. In fact, we're trying to encourage that. Now, so what's our relationship? What's the relationship that we have between Pactera Edge and you guys? What formalization do we have there? Do we need to have anything formalized? I mean, how does that typically work?
Yeah, so there is no, we have a partner program, and it's not mandatory to be a partner to implement Pimcore at all. So I would say most companies who are implementing Pimcore, or many, are not partner. We have around 120 partners who are official partners, and then there's many more, probably a few hundred more, who are implementing Pimcore and they are actually not partner. The reason why you should become partner, or why we would like you to become partner, is that you get a couple of benefits. So the benefits for you is, for example, you get access to sales material. You get also the possibility to get a referral of Pimcore for Pimcore leads. This depends on the partner status, of course. Then you get the possibility of a partner marketplace where you can showcase extensions that you build with Pimcore. You get the possibility to do co-marketing with us, to kind of promote your success stories, your case studies that you're creating based on the Pimcore platform. And you get, of course, all the news which are relevant to partners, which are relevant to Pimcore implementation partners. So in this regard, it's a partnership which is based mainly on the sales and marketing aspect, and which enables you to be able to better sell Pimcore, and which builds a relationship between us in a way that we can build trust for the customer together. So you get some kind of certification as a partner, and that the companies know you are an official partner. That's also, of course, one benefit for you. Then I have here the steps listed, how to become partner. I will also send you these slides. There's a few more of the different partner levels. And I will finish off with this slide now to kind of show you the next steps. So the steps actually to become a partner are also similar if you don't want to become partner. It would first make sense for you to do the developer certification. We have a video training platform which is called Pimcore Academy, and there you have training classes which can be used to certify your developers, and they will get all the knowledge about the product. And this is the first step, because also depending on the partner level, you need a number of certified developers actually as a precondition to get started. The second step is you have to get your first project. Here, as you're kind of new with Pimcore, we can support you when you are kind of have your first customer that you would like to showcase Pimcore to. We can support you. We can do, for example, a remote presentation, and we can answer questions that you have in order to really enable you to get your first project and to get started and to be able to launch. Then usually when you have your first project, you will build the knowledge and you will be able to get many more probably sooner if you like the product and if it fits your company. And then when you're implementing your first project, we can assist you with optional paid technical support if you need it. So here in these stages, of course, we support you. So for getting your first project, we can help you out. If you kind of let us know what you need, we can. We'll always find some arrangement. In this step, when you're implementing, then you would have to take paid technical support when it comes to the development. When you are done, you can show us your first success. So you can present this to us what you built. And this is then also kind of the precondition for the partnership, because we want to be sure, or we want to make sure that you are sure that the product is the right fit for you. And then when you kind of have the first project implemented, we can sign a partner agreement and we can get you listed as a partner. That's typically how it works.
That's great.
Hey,
Go ahead.
hey,
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Christian, this is Chala. I'm one of the data scientists here. So my question is along the lines of what Bill was asking. So let's say we integrate Pimcore for free as part of our customer solution and use it, keep using it. What about the technical assistance? Let's say we encounter some technical challenges using Pimcore, and how can we direct it to Pimcore and get the solutions for that? Is it free, or will it be
this is
charged,
a paid,
or should be
this is a paid
should
service.
be a part of partner service?
No, it's not part of the
Sorry,
partner service. So this all these technical issues, this is kind of part of the paid services. So in this case, you can just reach out to me, to the partner management, and we'll arrange it, and we'll make you an offer for this. So all the technical support is not included in the partnership.
Okay, got it. Thanks. That answers the question.
Own the digital world.